So a student devised an experiment to find the concentration of sulfuric acid in a sample of battery acid. A measuring cylinder was used to transfer 10 centimetres cubed of battery acid to a volumetric flask. Distilled water was added. Sample of this was transferred to a volumetric from the volumetric to a conical. Methyl orange indicator was added. Titration was repeated 5 times, but concordant results were not obtained. Suggest which would improve the chances of obtaining concordant titers. So, inverting the volumetric flask several times. Well, did they do that, and should they have done that? Well, it doesn't say that they did that in their method, and they really ought to do that. That creates a homogeneous, a solution that is fully mixed, that is the same concentration throughout. And if you don't do that, then the concentration will vary as you go down the volumetric flask. And if they're just pipetting out of that flask, they'll be getting different concentrations every time, and that would be a reason why they're not getting concordant results. So that would be a valid reason. Let's just double check that there isn't anything else that's better. Wash the pipette with distilled water before each titration. Well, that would be a bad idea, because if you do that, you're going to dilute the acid that is in the pipette each time, and not necessarily by the same amount each time. Add extra drops of indicator. Well, that's not a good idea, because indicators are slightly acidic. They are going to affect the answer, and adding extra doesn't make it any better. Okay, so that's not a good idea. Use a more concentrated sulfuric acid, sodium hydroxide solution in the burette. Well, that would actually mean you would need smaller titer values, and then that wouldn't make them more likely to be concordant. In fact, it would make them have higher errors because there would be smaller readings. So our answer is A. Invert the flask. That will create that homogeneous solution, the same concentration throughout.